Hey guys, Nishquick here. And as you guys saw from my very excited and vocal reaction from the Game Awards this past Thursday. Oh, it's here! Oh my god! We got a brand new look and a brand new trailer for Atlus's upcoming JRPG Metaphor ReFantazio. And you guys saw my reaction, you know how I feel about this game. There's action gameplay? What? I am super hyped for Metaphor. And today in this video, I want to go back to that amazing trailer and just pinpoint some awesome things that I found from this trailer and just gush about how cool they look and express to you guys how excited I am for this game because it looks amazing. And not only am I going to go back to the trailer and do some quick little trailer analysis, sort of like what I did with the final Tears of the Kingdom trailer, but I also want to visit the website that Atlus has posted up for Metaphor, because there's a lot of interesting tidbits and information about the characters and the story in that website, and I really want to talk to you guys about that. So, if you guys are excited for Metaphor ReFantazio like I am, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on Metaphor because it is coming out in fall 2024 and I'll be making some videos on it, especially after Persona 3 Reload is out and complete and I've talked about that enough. Yeah, stick around for more Metaphor content. Without further ado, let's jump into this amazing trailer.
About a world very different from ours.
It is a world where all people are...
So what I remember from the earlier trailer, which we got in June, was there were these themes of fantasy and reality and the characters kind of intermingling or kind of just traveling from the fantasy world to the reality world, something like that. So it looks like here, our protagonist, this guy who looks like the Persona 3 protagonist, looks like he's got like this book. Whoever gave him this book.
About a world very different from ours.
It's about a world very different from theirs.
All people are equal and no conflict exists.
Where no conflict exists, but look at this. You could see some interesting things. You can see some cars, you can see humans, you can see skyscracers. There are more cars, more humans and buildings. So it looks very different from this world that they actually live in.
This is a fantasy.
This is a fantasy.
Like the world His Highness once dreamt of.
Much like the world His Highness once dreamt of. We will talk about that in a bit.
This is a fantasy.
Basically, it is different from this fantasy. Yeah. I just find that to be a very interesting concept. So here is this guy assassinating the king. The king who wanted a world where all people are equal, there's no conflict.
Without an heir to wear the crown, what will become of the royal?
So let's talk about this gameplay real quick. Level 1, HP MP, memorandum, interesting. I'm not really sure what that could be. But this looks like your opening desert area. Reach the royal capital, level 1. It looks like a very introductory area. Memorandum could be like, it's like maybe a journal or something. That's what I'm guessing. But what's so cool is, yeah, look at this. This immediately reminded me of the game Kuro no Kiseki or Tales Through Daybreak when I saw this trailer. Because the big appeal for Trails Through Daybreak, which is it's a game by Nihon Falcom, part of the Kiseki or Trail series, is it blends action combat and turn-based combat, which is what's happening here, but this action combat seems to be kind of an introductory to the turn-based combat. The action combat seems to be pretty simple right now because the main combat loop of this game seems to be turn-based. It looks a lot smoother than it originally did back when it was first shown at the Xbox show. So yeah, let's look at this. Skill, call power, melee, wield items, melee, okay. Call power. So this skill, call power, I'm assuming that's kind of like your persona or your demons that you'll call. And what I am learning from this trailer is it seems to be that these personas and demons are called archetypes. So that's a very interesting thing they got going for it. Got these strange egg monsters. Who deserves his crown? A man of proven strength. So this might be a sort of adversary we come across during the game, but I'm interested to see what his character turns out to be.
The people of my land desire a new king.
This is very interesting. You see,
The people of my land desire a new king.
this Majora's Mask moon, I didn't really know what it was in the first trailer, but turns out it's sort of like this all-seeing god who is setting up this tournament to choose the next king. And that's very interesting, a very nice design for it as well. I'll be talking about some of these names later as well.
New king, and I shall provide.
I love the character designs here.
The tournament for the throne.
The Tournament of the Throne. So this is that giant vehicle that we saw in the first trailer. Looks like it's how we're going to be getting around this world. It's going to be our main base of operations we'll see later as well. Yeah, look at that. This is massive. And I love, okay, I'm going to talk about some of these names over here real quick. Mechanical designer. I love how there's a specific role for a mechanical designer. I found that to be really cool. Ikuto Yamashita worked on Neon Genesis Evangelion, and if that's anything to go off of, we're gonna see some amazing mechs, amazing machinery in this game that's gonna rival, of course, Evangelion, the Xeno series. That's gonna be really awesome because a lot of the mechs in the Xeno series were inspired by Evangelion, so that's very exciting to me as a Xeno fan. Also, I just want to admire the character design over here. And also, Koda Kazuma, concept artist for Nier Automata. That's really, really awesome. And we're going to see a lot of Nier-inspired concept art and Nier-inspired locations and characters later on as well. And even a lot of these characters over here. These guys look like they're contestants in the tournament, but my question is, are they going to be our adversaries, or are they going to be like our companions? If they are also competing in this tournament, I am assuming that we'll have to go up against them, maybe have some battles with them. This character looks like a character which is within the same race as one of our party members, Haizme. But yeah, these characters are all very eclectic, very interesting characters. My question is, are they friends or are they foes? The tournament for the throne. So it looks like the royal capital is called Grand Trad. And I love how lively and bustling the city looks. I love how the characters look. And let's see. So look at this. Yes, yes, yes. This is how it should be. The night market's so much more alive. So much more alive than what? That's something curious I thought of. So look at this. So this whole town building thing, it sort of looks like a town hall meeting. So maybe in the different towns and different villages and settlements you go to, maybe you can do these town hall meetings to get the villagers and the townsfolk on your side, get them kind of acquainted to you and your whole worldview, so maybe they can help you out in whatever way that they can. Maybe merchants will make the items in their shop a little cheaper and easier to come by, and there might be more settlements, more people in the town that are willing to help out. And this could tie later into the follower mechanic, because maybe the more people you get on your team, the more follower / confidant social link events might open up in certain towns and certain cities. But also another interesting thing I saw was, look at this. Left bumper pops up the popularity ranking over here, as you can see, next to the map and next to the menu. Popularity ranking. So I think I'm kind of on the right track when it comes to this whole affinity system. I just call it affinity because that's how the Xenoblade series called it, like area affinity or town affinity, or in that game it was like colony affinity. So the higher your popularity ranking, I guess, could be in each of these towns, maybe these shops will provide better items, and maybe they might be cheaper, and you might get better people to come join your cause. Also, over here, looks like we get a nice look at the base of operations. Yeah, that's, those are two of our party members over there, Hulkenberg and Stroll. There's Galaga over there. I'll make a new sign. This one will have Papa and Miss Fabine, and me and you all smiling together. So this looks to be some sort of the social links that we got going on in this game. Wait, memorandum? Maybe that has to do with the social links in this game. And look at this, you can cook in this game too. Sort of like what you can do in other RPGs, you can cook and get buffs. Or they're just consumable items, looks like, consumable items. The spicy dish will keep you eating and sweating. Burn for 1 ally. Cures burn for 1 ally, interesting. Yeah, looks like Stroll is our signature cook, like Manana and Xenoblade 3. I don't know, every JRPG has to have their signature cook. I like a lot of these character designs quite a bit, so let's hear what she has to say. So it does. One wrong move and we'd both be dead, but it's thanks to you that I was able to awaken my archetype. Oh, that went by quick. Archetype. Awakening the archetype is sort of like this game's version of awakening to your persona, it looks like. What is this going off here? And then it comes into us. Are those the confidant points, like the music notes you see in Persona 5? I don't know. Or it looks like some bond points that's going into us. Whatever it is, it's very different yet similar to the Persona series. And this is the world map. Looks like a very large and expansive world. And we'll see over here. Yeah, look at these places. Very, very beautiful landscapes. Very, very beautiful. Look at this. Wow. Wow. Just amazing. The draw distances and just the spectacle of these areas that we're running down in. Very interesting boss fight there. Combat looks great.
But I will not. Now let's see what matters. You'll be a hero. Trust me.
Yeah, that's that. Metaphor ReFantazio. Very excited for this game. Fall 2024. Let's move on to the website, because the website has some really, really awesome stuff over here. New title from the creators of Persona 3, 4, and 5, Metaphor ReFantazio, Fall 2024. Here is the story. This is a story of how people must find unity and elect a new king. Our story takes place in the United Kingdom of Uchronia. Is that how, am I saying that right? Uchronia. Yes. Where the assassination of the king brings chaos and unrest to the land. One fateful day, a magic known only to the king, called the royal magic, is invoked. So, what was that? I'm assuming that the royal magic is... yeah, look at this. Is that the royal magic? But what is this royal magic, and why is it only exclusive to the king? And the world becomes embroiled in a royal tournament for the throne. So it looks like our main character is caught up in all of this as well. In the midst of this, the protagonist, together with his partner, the fairy Gallica, must find a way to break the curse that has been placed on the prince that the kingdom believes to be dead. To do so, they depart on a journey across the vast land. So the prince wasn't here in the trailer, but he was in the first trailer. Maybe I can go back and see the first trailer, but there was a quick shot in the first trailer where we do see the prince inflicted by this curse, and it's interesting that the prince was once our childhood friend. So that's a very cool backstory our main characters got here. They will discover that in order to achieve their goal, they must participate in the tournament for the throne. So yes, we're competing to be the next king of Uchronia, looks like. They must participate in the tournament for the throne, and this great task shall require them to ally with many friends and followers of the various tribes inhabiting the world. So let's check out some of those characters and who those characters will be. Protagonist, obviously, that's us. He looks a little goofy here. He's I mean, I like this art style a lot. I like this character design, but his pose is kind of silly. Whatever. Together with the fairy Gallica, he embarks on a journey to lift the deadly curse placed on his childhood friend, the Prince of Uchronia. He is a boy of the Elder tribe, branded as a tainted people by the state religion, who believe that they have inherited dangerous and heretical magic. Being so rare among the populace, they are detested and discriminated throughout the kingdom. Interesting. So someone like us from the Elder tribe who has been branded and tainted and discriminated, we are competing amongst other people in this kingdom of Uchronia to be the next king. I'm looking forward to see a lot of the dialogue that you as the protagonist will have with other people and other races and other tribes in this world, and I'm curious to see why the Elder tribe has been discriminated and branded by so many people and by the state religion, it says here. So that's interesting. So here's something I thought of. So you know how in the beginning of the trailer someone was talking about the royal magic, and now that the king is dead, how are we going to use this royal magic or something like that? And this trailer, or sorry, this story synopsis is talking about one fateful day, a magic known only to the king called the royal magic is invoked, and the world becomes embroiled in the royal tournament for the throne. So that begs to question, why is the protagonist part of all of this, and why is he tainted and branded? If he is tainted and branded, what would happen if he all of a sudden uses this royal magic? And why is he accepted as part of this tournament? That's just something curious I thought of. This royal magic is so sacred. What happens if someone who is cast out by a lot of the people within the society, what happens if he wields this royal magic? Just a thought I had there. Very interesting backstory we have there already for our character. Gallica. It's kind of like our fairy companion over here, looks like. Is the equivalent to maybe our Morgana or a Teddy, something like that. Oh, no. Gallica, not only a traveling companion, Gallica is the guide that helps the protagonist carry out his mission to save the prince. Although she is too small to participate in battles, her knowledge of magic and ability to sense magla is superior to the protagonist due to her fairy nature. She doesn't mince words, but she's a reassuring ally on his journey. So magla is probably just the magic essence and the energy-based stuff that's going on in this game. So Stroll, he looks pretty cool. I like his design over here. He's got some horns, got a nice sword, a lot more royal and more sophisticated than our protagonist over here. Let's see what's up with Stroll. Stroll, he's a young man of the Claymore tribe, who meets the protagonist in the recruitment center for the state army. A smart young man with a strong sense of justice, he hails from a noble family. Wow. And yet it seems his circumstances are complicated, as it is rare for a noble to enlist in the army alongside commoners. So this kind of reminds you of your character similar to like Zeke from Xenoblade 2, who was once royalty and then he was cast out by his family for whatever reason. So I'm curious to see how his role as a former noble has to play into the story, why he is cast out, and what motive he has to work with our protagonist. Hulkenberg. It's a very interesting name for this fairy kind of warrior over here. So let's see what we have to say about Hulkenberg. A knight of the Roussant tribe and former member of the royal family's Kingsguard, who served by the prince's side. Despite her young age, she excelled in the use of various weaponry and was assigned to the personal guard of the prince. But when the prince was attacked, she failed to protect him and set out to wander, carrying the stigma of this failure in her heart. Sort of like a Jaime Lannister story, but instead of killing the person that they were meant to protect, she just inadvertently did not protect the person that she was serving under. I'm interested to see how the dynamic is between these two, with Stroll being part of a noble family, Hulkenberg being part of the Prince's Kingsguard, and I'm more interested to see their sort of relationship with this prince. Of course, Hulkenberg will have a very close relationship to the prince, similar to our protagonist, but I'm wondering if Stroll has any significance or relationship or history with our prince as well. Haizme, former knight of the Ujif tribe. He has acute perception compared to the most others, due in part to his Ujif trait of being sensitive to sound, with an appearance that differs greatly from other tribes. It's not common for Ujifs to be discriminated against, and it seems Haizme is no exception. His past, his own burdens to bear. Interesting. He's probably got some really dark backstory, but he has something in common with our protagonist. Both tribes have been discriminated quite frequently, so maybe they'll form a bond there in relation to that. So one quick thing I thought of just now is we are taking part in this royal tournament for the throne, right? Look at our character here. Childhood friend of the prince. But look at him. Very meek, kind of shy character over here. Very kind of anxious looking guy over here. But you guys might remember this. Metaphor ReFantazio. Let's look over here. Do you guys remember this artwork over here? This one that Game Informer has over here with this cat, with Gallica and the protagonist. Look at him. He looks a lot more confident over here than he does in this artwork. And he's just sitting on kind of like a futon or a couch over here, but maybe this is, I don't know, maybe I'm looking too hard into this, but maybe this is kind of hinting at how he would look like once he is king and he sits on the throne. So I don't know, that's just a thought, because I'm assuming, what is the end goal in this game? Is the end goal to become king, or is the end goal to save your friend who is the prince, or is it both? Because, well, if the end goal is to become the king, I can totally see this being like the end game vibe that the protagonist gives off. But if the end goal is to save the prince as well, and if the prince is the rightful heir to the throne, then what do we do as the winner of this tournament and this competition? That's just kind of an interesting question that popped into my mind. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Follower. Meet and bond with your followers. So this is sort of like the confidant or social link system they got going on here. So follower, interesting. So it looks like people are going to be following under you. It's sort of reminds me of the heroes in Xenoblade 3, how you as Ouroboros go around to all these colonies and sort of recruit them to join your cause. It seems that the protagonist is doing that with these various characters around the world. So they will be your followers. You bond with them and they'll follow you in your cause to either become king or save the prince. Yeah, let's see. Mechanics. Unique battles that combine action and turn-based commands. Party customization offering a high degree of freedom and strategy. An evolution of the realistic day-by-day journey of the Persona series. So I was initially a little kind of, I wouldn't say upset, but kind of sad that this game doesn't seem to be vastly different from Persona 5 or other Atlus games, but it looks like they're taking concepts from Persona 5 and other Atlus games and putting their own unique twist on it. So I'm curious to see how that goes about with these mechanics. Oh, wow. So yeah, the turn-based combat looks fairly similar, but the action commands are very interesting because it looks like you can have some preemptive strikes there. We got a little bit of that boss gameplay. Nice. This all looks very smooth, very very interesting for a turn-based game. So I don't know if I would call it a true hybrid turn-based and action game or turn-based and action RPG, but this action stuff seems to be sort of like preemptive strikes, and what I'm most interested with the action combat is to see how some action commands and action attacks might be different with different party members. Maybe you can control, like, let's see, will Hulkenberg use her spear outside of the turn-based attacks? And will those preemptive spear attacks be different from Stroll using this long broadsword? Yes, and look at the staff. Of course, we got Katsura Hashino, Shigenori Soejima, Shoji Meguro. I talked about these guys in another video. But Kazuma Koda is from Nier Automata. We'll see some art later, which really gives off some Nier vibes. And I already talked about the mechanical designer role, Ikuto Yamashita from Neon Genesis Evangelion. Very interesting that they got a guy to specifically be the mechanical designer. I want to see what else he's done later on when the game comes out. Art and sound. Journey through a vast and magnificent fantasy world. Explore the game alongside an intuitive and beautiful UI that elevates the experience. Lend your ear to masterfully crafted music, utilizing captivating, unique chants. Yeah, I remember Shoji Meguro was talking about how a lot of the music in this game is going to be reminiscent of like religious hymns and religious chants. So I'm curious to hear more. And what's really cool is the music in this trailer, especially near the end. This song that's playing right now.
You're no ray of hope. You gave up on your hopes, but I will not.
It sounds like a song from Fire Emblem Three Houses. When we were live reacting to this, my friend who I was co-streaming the Game Awards with, Skylink Shock, was the one who pointed that out.
The music sounds like Fire Emblem a little bit.
Yeah,
do you feel
the music
that?
does sound like Fire Emblem, yes.
Yeah. Dude, this sounds like Three Houses a lot.
This sounds very much like Three Houses, yeah. So here is this giant moon that is sort of like, I'm assuming it might be sort of like a judge for this competition or this tournament, or the one who will rightfully finally elect the new ruler of this land. And it's really giving me Majora's Mask vibes, but also like this is definitely very Nier inspired. And you'll see more over here, you'll see more. This is also very Nier inspired. Also, is this a dragon? Wow, that seems really cool. We saw this tower at the very beginning of the trailer. Where was it?
The world His Highness once dreamt of.
To put it another way, this is a fantasy.
Looks to be this exact same tower. Maybe that's the capital? This is probably the capital city. Let's see more. This, whatever this is this an enemy or a boss or something? This entire image screams Nier vibes. With the coloring, the shading, the dark vibes, the silhouettes of the characters, this enemy here, very, very Nier inspired. And of course, you got this beautiful looking UI. There's money, and then there's Magla. I'm assuming this is Magla because they're talking about how Gallica can sense Magla, but wonder what this Magla currency or system will be used for. And yeah, this is very, very Persona 5 inspired, but it's got its own nice twist to it. Also, very Persona 5 inspired. It's got its own unique Metaphor ReFantazio twist to it. And look at this, Knight, Fighter, Seeker. Looks like you can have different classes over here, so I'm curious to see how that goes. Also, look at this, Y is changed to Archetype. What was it originally? Let's see. Skill is now Archetype. Interesting. I want to see how that works once this game comes out, once we learn more information. Also, this beautiful artwork goes incredibly, incredibly hard with Gallica, the protagonist, Stroll, and Hulkenberg. And the Majora's Mask moon in the background. What else do we have to see? Yeah, I'm very, very excited for this game. And yeah, there's just a lot to take away from this website. I encourage you guys to visit it and just look around, and if there's anything I missed, anything I misinterpreted, anything that you guys can take away from the character descriptions, the story synopsis, anything we saw over here or I discussed over here, let me know in the comments below, because I just love the look of this game. I love the vibes of this game, and it's shaping up to be a very exciting and very eventful game. So what did you guys think of all of that? There's a lot to digest there. But yeah, this game is really shaping up to be something special, and I'm going to be honest, guys. It is my most anticipated video game that is not out right now. This is Atlus, one of my favorite developers of all time, and they're making a new IP which is creative, new, ingenious, and really just out there and very artistic. And I'm just so happy we're finally seeing the fruits of Studio Zero's labor on Project ReFantazio, and we know that it is a very beautiful game that is Metaphor ReFantazio. So what do you guys think of this trailer? What do you guys think of all the information from the website? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you're most excited for when it comes to Metaphor ReFantazio, because we got a lot to talk about this game and theorize and speculate. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe for more content like this. This is Nishquick signing off. Have a great day. Go play some great games today, like a game developed by Atlus. They're really good developers. There's a lot of games on the PlayStation, Steam, and Nintendo Switch, so play something by them. I'll see you guys in the next one later. Hey guys, this is Nishquick. Thank you so much for watching that video, and if you enjoyed it, check out these two videos on the left, and if you aren't subscribed, why not hit that subscribe button on the way out? I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, and see you later.